this section introduces two operators, curl and divergence. These are being widely used in physics and engineering applications. For example, for fluid flows, curl is used to represent rotations, while divergence represents the change rate of the mass per unit volume. Let's begin with curl. A vector field F in three-dimensional space is given as PQR. Assume that each of PQR has partial derivatives. Then the curl of the vector field is defined in this way. It looks a little bit complicated when you try to memorize it. Let's consider an operator called del. Is a vector differential operator, and that is collection of partial derivatives. Del is x derivative, y derivative, z derivative. Now we will try to get the cross product of del and the vector field. Then it is a determinant of ijk. That is the first vector, that is the second vector. Then we can get this output that is exactly the same as the curl over F. So here, rather than memorizing these terms, we'll try to get curl over F through that determinant computation. Okay. So we'll use this notation more frequently than curl over F. Okay. As I mentioned, that once F is the velocity in fluid flow, then now the particles in the fluid tend to rotate about the axis, which is orthogonal to the rotating plane. So curl over F is the orthogonal direction of the rotation, and magnitude measures how quickly the fluid rotates. Here we have a question: why do tornadoes evolve? The reason is in the air, energy is full, then the rotation can be made, and after tornado, the energy will be consumed. So the change in the air after a tornado is energy consumption. Okay. And earlier, through a problem, we found that once the vector field in 3D is conservative and has continuous partial derivative, then the curl of F is 0. We checked it and thereon. So here we have a theorem, and F is a function of three variables that has continuous second order partial derivatives. Then now the gradient of F and curl is 0. So a vector field is conservative, then it can be written in this form. There is a potential so that the vector field is gradient of the potential. So vector field, conservative vector field, and curl operator must be 0. In general, for every function having continuous second partial derivatives, we can prove this one by using the Clairaut theorem. Quite easily we can do that, so that eventually we have that always conservative vector field has curl 0. Okay. Let's see the problem. Show that the vector field is not conservative. Once curl of f is non-zero, then it is not conservative. So let's check if the curl of f is non-zero. Okay. Now that is cross product along with the del operator. That is same as determinant of the matrix. That's I, J, K. And here that is x derivative, now y derivative, and z derivative. That is the first vector. And second one, that is your xz and xyz. And final component is minus y squared. Right? Okay, for that one, for I, and here, and we eliminate row and column of I and apply here derivative. That's minus 2i. Okay, 2i. And then z derivative, negative of this z derivative, that's minus xy. Already is non-zero. However, let's try to finish the curl of f. For j, now eliminating row and column, the minor matrix is this 4. And now we start with that derivative, that is x, and minus of y derivative, that is 0. And, right, okay. And finally, for k, the minor is that one, and we have x derivative, which is yz, and then minus of that one, that is 0 again. But anyway, these are non-zero. Curl is non-zero, so that the vector field cannot be conservative. That's it. So in this one, we know that conservative implies curl 0. Now, this theorem is the reverse. The vector field has continuous partial derivatives on a simply connected domain. Once domain is simply connected, and that means that the vector field has good quality, then now curl is 0 implies the conservativeness, so that eventually they are the same. Once the vector field has good quality, so that you can find a simply connected domain having continuous partial derivatives, then conservativeness and zero curl are the same. Okay. Okay. Now this vector field has continuous partial derivatives, so that once the curl is 0, then it's conservative. So part A, we have to show first the given vector field is conservative. That is equivalent to check if curl is 0. Okay, so we try to get curl of f. That is determinant of the matrix. Now that is I, J, K. The first vector is del, so x derivative, y derivative, and z derivative. And now second vector is the vector field given. So that is y squared, x cubed. Second one is 2xy and z cubed. And final component is 3xy squared, z squared. Okay. Okay, for I, first one, the minor is this portion. That differentiation is 6 x, y, and because y squared will be changed to be 2y, right? So the 6xy z squared minus, now z derivative, then 3 will go out, so that minus 6xy z squared. Okay, that'll be 0. Now how about the second one? For j, the minor is this 4 components. Now we do first this way. That will be here, this, just a moment. There must be z. Okay, sorry about that. Z derivative is the same as 3y squared and z squared minus x derivative, that is 3y squared z squared. Okay, again, it's 0. How about the last component with k? The minor will be this 4. This derivative is 2. Okay, x will disappear, and y z cubed minus, now that derivative, that is 2y z cubed. Okay, again, everywhere 0, so that is 0. Curl is 0 and has a continuous partial derivatives, and then so that the vector field must be conservative. Okay, we're done for part A. Now let's try to find the potential. Okay, and F is the potential, so gradient F is the vector field. That means that the first component of F, gradient F is F sub x, must be this first component. Second component must be the second component, and the final one must be the final one. Okay, we can write in this way. F sub x, the first component of gradient, must be the first component, y squared z cubed. Second component, f sub y, that's 2x y z cubed. The last component, f sub z, that must be this one. Okay, let's say we number the equations 1, 2, 3. Now from 1 we make x integration. Our goal at this moment is to find f. Okay, so x integration, then f is, now that is a constant with respect to x, so that x y squared z cubed, and you have to put an integral constant. There must be a function of y and z. You have to put general constant, so that once you apply x derivative, then it will become this one, and that will disappear. Now your job is to decide that one, right? That's the question. To get this one, from here we make now y derivative for that one. Then this is 2xy z cubed plus g sub y. Now to decide this, but f sub y, from here we get that one, but that must be matching with this second equation. Then we can find here g sub y equal 0, which implies that g as a function of yz must be now there's no y involved there, so that derivative must be 0, which means that there must be a function of now z, so that y derivative must be 0. So we have that. So we can rewrite here f is x y squared and z cubed plus a function of z. Right? Now we have to decide this portion. So now new question is, what is this one? To decide that, now we have to use this equation. Anyway, from here, we have to make a z derivative. Then there will be 3x y squared and z squared. Z cubed is changed into 3 times 3z squared. Right? And then here we have h prime. Okay, now compare this term with equation 3. And then we can see easily that is 0. That implies h is not a function of z, one variable, but its derivative is 0, which means that that is a real constant. Right? So we can conclude f is here x y squared z cubed plus now real constant. That's the final answer. Okay. Okay, we'll continue in the second part. Thank you.